Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Burning Cinema, the show where nostalgia has a second chance and we revisit the movies that shaped our past. If you've been with us before, then you know the drill. If not, then get ready to dive headfirst into a piece of cinema history. I'm your host, Ross, and joining me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Tom. Tom, are you able to contain yourself just for a little bit of this double helping of what we've got coming up?
I will certainly try, but I am failing so far.
Oh, I can see him. He's like a little firework ready to go off. Last episode was our full flame special where we looked at the classic Jurassic Park. And so we decided to return to our normal format today, which is, our theme is...
Second Chance Cinema.
Oh, and Tom, just tell our listeners, what is that entitled? What is that? What are we going to be giving to them?
So with that, we're looking at films where it could be a very successful film, or just anything where they've decided to come back and give it another go and see, has it really worked?
Yeah.
Did it pay off? Was it worth the effort? Does it hold as well as the first one did?
Oh, it's a lot. It's
has
got to reach, hasn't it?
Tumbling to the ground. And the franchise has been destroyed.
Oh dear! So expecting on this one, we could have anything really, couldn't we? Anything could happen. It could be good or it could be bad. And what better to start this mini theme with a sequel to one of the most successful films, which we'd done a couple of weeks ago, which was for Jurassic Park. Tom, tell us what we got.
To 1997, to The Lost World.
A British family on a yacht cruise stumbled upon Site B.
Now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
Hopefully we've kept this island quarantined and contained, but I'm in shock about all this. That's how it always starts. But then later there's running and then screaming.
What the hell was that?
Go. As fast as you can.
I need you to send rescue immediately.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the history of bad ideas.
Let's get this movable feast underway. Don't move!
What is it?
Mommy's very angry.
Oh, there we go. The Lost World, Jurassic. It's not Jurassic Park 2, is it? There's not. I don't actually think there is Jurassic Park in the title, is it?
Originally, it was just called The Lost World, and over time they decided to add the Jurassic Park bit afterwards.
Yeah, not to be confused with Arthur Conan Doyle's book, and many movies has been made of The Lost World, which there was a little sort of reprise of those films and them old films. I think people were trying to cash in, I think, on the title. You get that every now and again. So what was it all about? Let me tell you what. So obviously this is a sequel to Jurassic Park, where in the first part, it basically got overrun by genetically modified creatures and dinosaurs. And we saw a group of people basically survive that and then leave the island. And that's where we were kind of left, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
For the first film. And this one kind of answers what happened next in a kind of way. We're going to get to see some familiar characters reprise their roles. However, it seems like there was another island, which was Site B, apparently.
Yeah.
This is where I want to say built them. They weren't made of Lego or anything, but they were sort of, they were born or, from
created
genetics. And obviously this is where this island was, where they thrived. And then the whole idea was they would be moved from Site B to Jurassic Park, or some of them did anyway. We find out this, and Dr. Hammond, who we met before, who is the entrepreneur and scientist of the park, Jurassic Park, he's back, but he wants to put a team together to go to the island because iGen, which is the company that he had, apparently there's been a hostile, I'll call it a hostile takeover or something. People don't quite believe in him, and he's slightly losing grip of it. So he basically wants a group of people to go there and say, look, do you know what? these creatures can stay on the island. It's all very nice. Let's leave them there. It's a bit green PC, isn't it? And stuff, and save the animals. However, there is a nephew, I believe, isn't it, who has other alternative motives. And that's pretty much what is going to happen. Obviously, we always talk about like where we went and how we managed to get to see this. I mean, I'll go first. I went to the cinema to see this, and I remember being quite excited to see it. Obviously, who wouldn't be? The first film is awesome, let's be honest. Spielberg jumps on the wagon and says, well, we're going to do the second film, which also was a second book as well, am I right in thinking that Michael Crichton did write one?
There was, but this is very loosely based on it. Very loosely. A lot of character changes and sort of merging into ones for the film.
But it did quite well, apparently, didn't it? I think at the box office. I seem to remember it
had the biggest opening weekend ever.
Yeah. Wow. Obviously, it was kind of going to, wasn't it? Let's be honest. You're making a sequel to the biggest film ever made. There's a few returning cast members that have come back. But if I just discuss our favourite director, Mr. Spielberg, who like I said, he's returned to directing duties for this, which is very rare.
It is very rare. So outside of the Indiana Jones franchise, this is the only time he's ever returned for a sequel.
I know.
But this is apparently because he was very protective over it.
Interesting, isn't it? I mean, he declined Jaws 2, didn't he? He didn't want to do that. And he has actually said, and I've got a little quote here, I like to leave perfection alone. I mean, don't have a head too big a head. I mean, good Lord.
But then he's kind of right. Jurassic Park was kind of there, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's strange. I would have just assumed that he probably wouldn't have directed this one and wouldn't have done it. But I knew he did. But
I think that the part of the influencing factor was that you've seen a lot of follow-up films sort of ruin a franchise or an original film, sort of be let down by their sequel. And he decided, I think, as well, to sort of step in a little bit and try to avoid that.
Yeah. But there you go. And what more fitting with our theme, Second Chance Cinema, is this film, isn't it? Off the back of a massive film, is it any good? Is it going to reach the heights that we believe? And certainly from our point here at Burning Cinema, is it still good, or is it waned a little bit? Is it still roaring, or is it just a puddle? I don't know. Should we find out? Should we go for it? Should we deep dive? Let's go. So we start on an island, don't we? I mean, not too far. I mean, we know that, don't we? Not too far from the original island. Sure. But for new viewers and not diehard viewers like myself, I don't actually know where we really are, to be honest with you.
So the original island from Jurassic Park was Isla Nublar.
Right.
This is Isla Sorna.
Okay.
This is Site B. This is where we've come across a very stereotypical rich British family.
I know.
With their sort of exaggerated British accents, enjoying a picnic, I suppose. I suppose you could call it a picnic. I'd probably call it some sort of exotic feast.
Yeah, they've got a full table and chairs out there, haven't they, with wine and a fridge.
In my mind is like a blanket in a field with some sandwiches and some crisps. That's sort of
it is
here. There's little things here that I find annoying. Not only have we got these sort of exaggerated accents, we've got these little things where Mum doesn't know her own child doesn't like prawns, and
is this relevant?
It's not even relevant. It's just little things. It's like, it's a little bit. Why can't I have a film where the parents are actually quite good?
Yeah,
Why is that so difficult?
There's a considerable crew size for this yacht. I mean, I can't remember how big the yacht was or whatever, but I counted at least 8 captains with hats and uniform.
Yeah.
You know,
there's going to still be someone on the boat, I'd imagine.
I mean, yeah, I'd hope there's still someone like left on the boat, or that everyone just left the boat and left it out vacant. But yeah, I was like, God, obviously clearly very rich people. But yeah, we get this it's just a little teaser, isn't it? That there, and we get introduced to these. I'm going to call them mini dinos because you're going to tell me what they really are, aren't you?
Compsognathus. Mathis.
Wow.
Or compies for short. We'll call them compies.
I mean, I'm still going to call mini dino, and everyone in this podcast is going to know what I mean when I say
my pronunciation probably isn't there, and any sort of dinosaur experts, please don't criticize me. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Paleontology questions later on.
But this scene is actually harks back to the first book. This is the first example of them taking something from the first book. So in the first book, a little girl gets attacked, And in this scene, the little girl goes off and gets attacked by these little dinosaurs. So that's their sort of reference point there.
And we cut to the scream. We do a classic kind of like she screams, and then we get the screeching of like an underground train, don't we? And we're introduced to a fan favourite and someone we recognise, Jeff Goldblum, in it.
He's
playing Dr. Malcolm, isn't he?
There's an interesting, I don't know if you noticed this, but the portrayal of Dr. Ian Malcolm in the second film is very different to the first one. In the first one, he's got his all doom and gloom, but he's very eccentric. But I find in this film, he's less eccentric, much more critical and angry about the things, and almost dealing with, if you sort of get the feeling that he just seems to be surrounded by stupidity the whole time. Like he's constantly commenting on people's comments.
I think that's, yeah. I didn't really, I mean, I'll come to it in a minute. We'll go through these little scenes at the beginning, but I'll tell my opinion of what I believe how this film starts. But overall, we're on the train, and I think there's a chap who recognises him, doesn't he? Yeah. And we get the sense that they're clearly, Dr. Malcolm has put it out there, hasn't he? That, there was dinosaurs, Jurassic Park went wrong, people got killed, there's dinosaurs, they exist. And people are mocking him a little bit, but there's some conspiracists who sit there and think maybe that's true.
Yeah, you get the picture that stuff has happened between the events of the first one and the second that's changed Dr. Malcolm in how he portrays himself. He's obviously being ridiculed. Randomly, I noticed Eli Roth is on the train as an extra.
Is he?
He is.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Obviously, he goes on to be a bit more of an actor and a director later on, but watch it again. You'll also
right. I didn't know that.
Just randomly there reading the paper, I think he was.
Yeah. And we're very quickly, we're off to Hammond's house, aren't we? Yeah. And I find it's really weird that he turns up at the door, doesn't he? And the butler answers, doesn't he? Of course he's got a butler. Why wouldn't he not have a butler? And he says, the butler doesn't know he's turning up, so pretty useless butler, and he ain't got a clue what's going on, has he? And
you want me to tie this into Star Wars?
Go on.
You like Star Wars as much as
Go on.
The butler is played by Ian Abercrombie, who goes on to voice Palpatine / Sidious in the Clone Wars TV series and film.
Wow, what a connection.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well done. Look at that. Wow. Always rely on a little bit of Star Wars fact somewhere along the line. Squeezed in somewhere like that. I like that. Yeah. And then he says, "Hold on," and then Dr. Malcolm says he's been summoned or whatever. Yeah. And we get a very briefly cameo from the children from the first film, which. I don't know. I found that a bit awkward, really. I've got to be honest with you. It was a bit.
I think originally they were meant to have a bigger part, but then it sort of got cut down. It was almost. It gives it almost like it was shoehorned in there, as opposed to... It feels
very forced, it does.
Which is a shame, because it was nice to see them again.
Yeah, and you go, oh, right, I get that. Are these in it as well? Or maybe, Exactly. And we're being set up a little bit, and I think it's very sort of weird on the beginning of this film when it is like that we're getting injected characters, we're given characters, and again, I'll come back to this later on, but we're given characters, and we're introduced to Hammond's nephew as well, aren't we?
Yeah, Peter Ludlow. He's now basically running InGen, which is the whole company that was in charge of Jurassic Park. He's more of a businessman than perhaps John Hammond was, his uncle.
Yeah.
So he's sort of trying to run the company. He's the one who's essentially paid off the rest of the survivors to sort of stay quiet about what happened, but he couldn't pay off Ian Malcolm. So instead, they've sort of ridiculed him to preserve the company. And it's sort of ruined Ian Malcolm's career, really. His reputation is destroyed.
Yeah, it's mentioned there, isn't it? And so Hammond has summoned him, hasn't he, to turn up there, and we're going to get some exposition, aren't we, from Hammond about what's going on. Why is he called Malcolm here? And that's when we get the talk about Site B, don't we? Which I do love how Dr. Malcolm's reaction to that, where Hammond tells him that there's this Site B and that this is where we bred the dinosaurs and ready to go to Jurassic Park, So there's this whole other island. You can't write this, can you? The whole other island with some other dinosaurs on as well.
Yeah.
And he even replies, I really didn't. I've quoted it. I've put it here. I really did not know that. I think he's talking for the entire audience there right at that moment, because we go, yeah, it's funny how you didn't mention that in the first film.
Kept that very stum.
Yeah, you kept that very quiet. And Hammond, like we mentioned before in the plot, he kind of wants to keep these creatures and he wants to keep them on the island. There's a key, though, to this, though, that the creatures on this island, aren't they, are not contained, are they? They're
Running wild.
loose cannons, aren't they? Running around. There's no fences. They even say there's no fences, don't they? There's no nothing. So we've got an island full of random dinosaurs running around.
And naturally, Mr. Malcolm does bring up the good point of saying, didn't you breed these dinosaurs to be lysine dependent, which meant that if they didn't get their correct food supply, they'd die within 7 days, sort of thing.
There's a lot of convenience.
And they sort of said, well, there we go. As he said, life finds a way. And it's like, you've turned his words against him here. Very clever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then also we learned that a lot of these dinosaurs become male.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't know whether that was because of the whole frog transformation or whether or not they actually bred male ones elsewhere. It's never really explained.
There's a lot to take on, and he's telling us a lot of exposition about who, why, and what. There's some files. He's kind of weirdly putting a team together.
Yeah, a little 4-man team to go there, and he wants to document them, doesn't he? So he could protect the island, so to stop people going there, and obviously getting hurt like the little girl did, but also sort of ensure their survival, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Just so we know that Dr. Malcolm wouldn't be on board of this because he's already been to one part where he's nearly been eaten, and he was nearly eaten.
Very nearly so, yeah.
We've added in the added problem that his current girlfriend, isn't it, called Sarah Harding, who will eventually be played by
Julianne Moore.
Yeah. She's already gone there, hasn't she?
On her own.
So she's already there taking snaps and pictures and documenting stuff and doing what she does. And now this is going to be his drive, isn't it, to go there and go, well, actually, I need to go and get her back. And of course, I'm going to be part of this team. And we go to like a workshop, don't we, where there's lots of stuff going on. We're starting to get introduced to some regular characters, aren't we, who we're going to see along the way. We meet Eddie, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Kind of an engineer,
Field technician sort of
He's an all-round guy.
I liked this character.
Yeah.
So he's just a very realistic person. He's moaning about the schedule being trimmed down. He's not happy about the equipment not being tested. He doesn't like people abusing his technical equipment as he keeps hitting stuff.
Yeah.
You sort of get, this is a guy who's proud of his work, but also he's like getting annoyed at people who are incompetent or don't know what they're doing or changing things because he's by the book.
Of course.
And he's just a nice guy, isn't he?
He's generally, you go, I quite like him. He's going to be sort of part of the team. And you've got Nick. Is it Nick? Is it? Yeah.
Nick Van Owen, yeah.
So he's come along. He's some prize winner, isn't he? Photographer dude. And we're going to learn a little bit more about him later on, aren't we?
We are. Yeah.
But he's played by Vince Vaughn, isn't it?
Vince Vaughn, yeah. And then obviously Eddie was paid by Richard Schiff.
So we're getting people together, and just when you think we've had enough characters turning up, we get some more. Which we get a young girl who's called Kelly, who's Dr. Malcolm's daughter. Who very obviously her daughter wanders into the company workshop. Don't know if there was any security on at the time on there, or whether she was invited, but just waltzing off the street into probably a restricted area.
Yeah.
Don't know what that was about, but yeah, where there's cranes and welding going on and sharp objects and stuff. And we get the sense that like Dr. Malcolm is fairly a good dad. In other words, he's just sort of let her have everything in and sort of, there's a little bit of sort of.
Yeah, he just sort of lets her do her own thing, but doesn't really pay attention, does he?
Yeah.
And that's sort of where they have a bit of conflict.
So we've had all this. We've had Dr. Malcolm, we've had why we need to go there, we've had a group of people there, and then eventually we get to a scene where a boat is going to the island, don't we? We get a little bit of music, we get a nice little sort of journey there, don't we, while we're on the boat. And I've got to be honest, this is where I've held off a little bit. I think this is where the film should have started. I know that might seem a bit of a crazy thing, but what have we learnt so far in this film? We've learned all this information. We could have had this conversation on the boat on the way there. You know, realistically, I mean, look at this. I'm rewriting it already. But yeah, I always feel that the moment we're on that boat and we're on the way there, I'm kind of more committed to this film.
Well, no, it's interesting you should say that because there's little bits that are said on the boat that it's like, I feel like this would have been discussed beforehand. So obviously, Nick Van Owen, the documentarian, has known about this trip presumably for some time.
Yeah.
And he seems really confused when the boat captain says what the name of the island chain is called. That's Mertes. And it's like, but that was on the map in the back of the RV, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been told where you're going.
Yeah.
Did he not? Like, how does he not know?
I just think that with how it is, we could have just explained it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think people would have got too bogged down in it. We could have he literally had Dr. Ian Malcolm on the boat and them having a conversation about why they're there.
Yeah.
We could literally just thrust that, and someone could turn around and say,
5 minutes, you got an opening of the film.
Yeah, someone could have turned around and said, oh, Hammond had told us this, Hammond had told us that, and, and then we would have got the idea, we would have got the dynamics, we would have understood who everybody was, and actually, even with the daughter, eventually she's going to turn up, because, spoiler alert, she's a stowaway, and she, so realistically, she could have just turned up, and he could have been like, what the hell are you doing here? That's her introduction, sort of thing. We could have done that. I just don't think you needed all that guff at the beginning, all that stuff and everything. We could have been told about, as soon as we got the vehicles out and the RV started rolling, we would have known what Eddie does. We would have known what everyone does. We would have known what Nick does. If you sit there and think about it, we could, could have been.
You could open on the boat and you just see like a, sort of a windswept Dr. Ian Malcolm. Yeah. He's just says, I can't believe I'm going back.
Yeah. And then we could have been, it could have been that. And then the kind of sort of trick, the magic trick is that this is a different island.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, right. I thought we were going back to Jurassic Park. No, we're not. What is this? This is all new. I don't know. That's my theory and thoughts on it anyway. But we do eventually get there, and I find we find Sarah very easily. She's only around the corner, isn't she? I don't know how big the island is, but it just went and oh, she's here. There she is. Near the Stegosaurus.
I mean, how they did it. But again, like as a documentarian and photographer, you thought Nick would be quite observant. And he jumps up onto a log behind her.
I know.
And doesn't see her.
Yeah. She's like right in front of you.
Yeah.
There. As far as me and you are right now.
That bothered me so much when I watched that again. I was like, how did he not see her?
But yeah, I find, and we sort of, once we get to know, we meet Sarah, don't we? There's some discussion. There's a little bit of an action sequence where she sort of ends up in a log, and, one of the, not that any of these creatures are really hurting her. They're just sort of protecting their young and sort of.
I'm going to throw in now how well they've integrated the CGI with the animatronics in this film. They did it really well in the first film. I'm going to say they did it even better in this one.
It definitely is an up game, isn't it? From their last day, I think you can definitely say that the special effects and CGI, when you watch that, you go, this is clearly better. There's no doubt about it. There is, and more of it. And I find the pace slows down a little bit. We go to the RV. That's when Kelly is revealed, isn't it, the daughter? And we kind of feel like we've got to explain all this, when realistically we've kind of really already explained who she is and everything, earlier on in the film. And that's where my beef is really with some of this, is that. However, though, we quickly kick in to what I've titled The Hunt.
Yeah. So essentially, off the back of all this, Hammond's nephew, Peter Ludlow, has organised his own party to go and capture dinosaurs to take them off the island. His plan is to essentially have them in like a zoo, amphitheater type of thing, where people pay to see them in San Diego.
Mm.
And so he's got his little team there with, again, another wide collection of very cool vehicles, very well equipped, going there to capture dinosaurs. And
we've got
one of the shops.
Humvees, we've got motorbikes, we've got open top Jeeps, haven't we? We've got.
So the motorbike. What I personally think, what a cool shot! The motorcycle, because he rides underneath like the Brachiosaurus.
Yeah,
I might have that.
It's quite cool.
It's a really cool shot, but and those vehicles like customized for this film. I really like the one where the seat sort of slides out.
Oh, he's got like a little side seat, that comes out.
Slides out the vehicle so he can, shoot his the dart and then slides back into the vehicle. I really like that. I thought that was really quite cool.
This whole scene I found up to the game in the film. I don't know how you feel. I mean, Pete Postlethwaite in it.
That monologue he gives.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The delivery of it was a thing of beauty.
Peter, if you want me to run your little camping trip, there are two conditions. Firstly, I'm in charge, and when I'm not around, Dieter is. All you need to do is sign the checks, tell us we're doing a good job, and open your case of scotch when we have a good day. Second condition, my fee. You can keep it. All I want in exchange for my services is the right to hunt one of the tyrannosaurs. A male, a buck only. How and why are my business. Now, if you don't like either of those two conditions, you're on your own. So go ahead, set up base camp right here, or in a swamp, or in the middle of a wreck's nest, for all I care. But I've been on too many safaris with rich dentists to listen to any more suicidal ideas. Okay.
With him, you go, yes, that's fine.
But
do what you need to do.
Immediately ridiculing Peter Ludlow.
Yeah.
And saying, it's just how badass he is. Isn't it?
Yes.
He's like, I don't need the money. I'm just going to hunt me a T-Rex. I think this man is just...
Yeah.
He's wild.
He's, Roland, isn't it? His name is. He's playing, isn't he? Yeah.
Roland.
So... a great character, a really good add to the cast and everything. We're going to meet some more of his, and I know it's most of his team, but they're quite identifiable, as well. I can roughly work out who everybody. There's a guy with little round glasses, a man with, I don't know their names, but there's a man with a cowboy hat, isn't there?
Don't worry. And another actor who I'm a big fan of, Peter Stormare.
Yeah, your mate. Peter has turned up, hasn't he?
As Dieter.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like the number 2, isn't he?
Yes. So we've got some good cast members in here, really all flipping around, driving in and out of dinosaurs. And what is, and I will come to it later on, a great moment where our hunter, Ronan, played by Pete Postlethwaite, is the scene where he's standing up in the Jeep, right? And they're going after it. He's got a headset on. He's clearly talking. I don't know who he's talking to, but he's trying to pronounce the names of the dinosaur, which one they're trying to follow. And I just love the cack-handedness. I think the camera's quite shaky as well, and it's clear that he's being rocked around. It looks very real.
He's got this little guide.
He's got like a laminated chart, hasn't he? It's almost like someone has given him the chart and gone, here's a list of things you need to get. Here's a shopping list of dinosaurs.
But he just comes up with all these funny little nicknames because he can't say Pachycephalosaurus.
But you can.
I can. I've been working on that one. So he just calls it Friar Tuck.
Yeah, because
it's got the bald head.
Yeah, because bald head. I love that, and then they refer to it that later on, don't they?
Yeah,
yeah. And we have some great little moments, and I did love all that idea, and I think the reason I like that idea is because it's something new to Jurassic Park we haven't had.
Very new.
A bunch of game hunters coming after these and having to
well equipped, well armed, people who are ready for the island.
And the also added thing of they've never dealt with any of these before, so they're completely. I mean, at one point there's some dinosaurs and there flips a guy. They're trying to wring its neck, aren't they, with the ropes, and then it sort of pulls them up, and a couple of guys go flying, don't they, into the distance? So,
I wonder how they persuaded them. How they get all these great hunters who go, you're going to have to go and hunt something much more different.
I mean,
what you're used to.
I've got to be honest with you, even if I was just 50% of a hunter, if someone said we're going to an island where we're hunting dinosaurs, that'd be quite hard to resist, I've got to be honest with you.
But that's sort of like the age old thing of we see all these films of Jurassic Park saying why it would be a bad idea to go to the park.
Yeah.
And if it was real, I'd probably still go.
We said that, didn't we? We said I'd still go regardless that people have been killed.
And it's probably the same for these they're all fictional, aren't they? But it's probably the same for them. It's like the lure of hunting something different.
Yeah.
And being paid a lot of money.
They obviously captured some dinos, didn't they? They managed to get a nice little selection of various different dinosaur species and everything, and they set up what is quite a large camp. And then we've got you have to say his name again, Ludlow, is it? Yeah, Ludlow. So he's doing what is a very old-fashioned kind of streaming, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's doing via satellite on a CCTV, to what is, I assume, the partners and directors of iGen and about. However, though, Nick, like I said before, the photographer, he's got an ulterior motive, hasn't he?
He has. He's been sent as backup to stop Ludlow's actions, and him and Sarah free the dinosaurs, don't they? Which then run amok and destroy the hunter's camp, which puts them on the back foot.
What I put on there is that they steal the captured baby T-Rex.
Yeah.
As this is the first of many bad ideas they've had taking it to the RV.
Oh, this is a catastrophically bad idea.
This is one of their first. Let's do the first bad idea of this film, in order to. I don't know what they were trying to succeed in having, but you're right. They take it to the RV, don't they? And they put it inside, don't they? And they put an ultrasound on it and realise its leg is broken. So, which brings us to what is probably like the equivalent to the T-Rex scene in the first Jurassic Park, isn't it? But we're going to do it a little bit different, isn't it? We've got the rain, the mud, we've got all the elements. It's dark.
So I really love the atmosphere of this film because throughout the whole film, it's pretty much dark all the way through. It's raining most of the time. It's muddy. You sort of get the feeling this is a really grim place to be. And I like that because a lot of the first film was quite bright and cheerful.
Yeah. Yeah, because the hunt was done in daylight, isn't it? In bright sunshine and everything. But we're now back to our normal kind of Jurassic Park genre, aren't we? Of like being dark, rainy, and horrible, and lots of trees and stuff and things. And we do. And you mentioned, I mean, the sound design on this is always good, isn't it? You got the trees swaying and they're breaking, the branches are snapping. We're getting built up. And I think at this moment, now we've all seen these scenes, that we know there's two. Don't we? Right. We do know that. But at the time, you didn't. No. At the time, you go, well, this is a Tyrannosaurus Rex coming for its baby. We kind of work that one out. But we get the added one with this is, oh, no, not just one. We've got two. Well, we've got mummy and daddy, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, that is the parents. So
yeah. And they want their baby back, don't they? So
they do.
And then again, we go back to the second bad idea that they have. Is that they're going to open the door and bring the baby out? I mean, they're probably good to return it. Yeah, well done.
You're not going to get thanks, though, are you?
But, I mean, what if Mummy Dinosaur decides she didn't really like that child and decides I'll just have a human instead to eat? Yep. I'll put the human on the floor. I'll have you, though, and eat you because you look a bit more tasty. And woofs down Sarah Harden, like in one goal.
Then that leads on to the next bad decision of why they didn't just immediately leave after that and go, right, time to go.
Yeah.
Because they really should have done that.
Tracked it in reverse and let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah. But instead, stealth T-Rexes turn up again, don't they?
Yeah, the first film. Well, I did pick up on that, yeah. There was a little bit of poetic license, wasn't there, for how, a dinosaur that only walks one footprint per 5 seconds in a, like very slow, and somehow manages to creep up on them, even though they're gone. Yeah, they hand the baby over and they think it's all over, don't they? However,
they do.
No, Mum and Dad are not very happy.
Hang on, this is going to be bad.
Yeah, and we get a big old bang, and the T-Rexes are now. Well, they actually even say it, don't they? They say it's pushing the truck over the cliff.
Yeah, because they've camped at the edge of a massive cliff.
That's great. I mean, I can get it. You've got nothing coming in front of you, but probably not the best place to put the RV.
No. And I mean, I really like this scene. Like, it's really tense. It's the sound design again on this is really interesting.
Yeah,
exciting. You get that sort of. Again, the complexity of what they're trying to do is they're trying to survive in this trailer whilst being pushed over the edge. And just the slow teases be getting closer and closer to just toppling over completely.
Yeah.
They're hanging on for dear life. And a beautiful bit of tense cinema is when Sarah Harding falls on the glass window at the bottom.
I love that. I've got this coming up. Yeah.
Well done.
I put misdirection because it is. When you watch it now, I bet you look at it like I do, you can see all the stuff fall down and it lands on the bottom, don't you? But when you first watched it, I didn't notice that. And then she falls, doesn't she? And then all of a sudden she hits and you think, oh. And you go, oh, there's a glass plate at the bottom, isn't there? And then you get a little spider cracks, don't you? Spider web cracks.
And when she puts a bit too much pressure on one hand, cracks increase, so she tries to balance it.
The sound design is very good for that. That will really precise and everything. I love that. And that is, and so we've got the situation where that's going over the edge. It's muddy, it's rainy, it's pulling. And what comes along is really basically our hero of the entire film, may I add, is Eddie, doesn't he? He says, right, I'm not having this. Right, I need to go down there and help. Winches himself down, doesn't he? And then he goes and comes up with some kind of lasso and rope system, doesn't he, to truck it down to them.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on because he's got a rope going that he's tied around a tree to get to them so they can climb up it. But then he's also sort of using the
winch on
the front. That's the word I was looking for.
The winch on the front of the truck,
to try and drag the truck back on.
Yeah,
which is a very good advertisement for Mercedes-Benz.
Very good job. That winch, I'd imagine, as well.
But again, his task is constantly made harder and harder because then the rope for the people undoes itself, has to go and tie that up, and then the winch doesn't go far enough, and he falls over and all that.
Yeah, there's just so many things going on with this scene.
It's very tense. Is he going to do it?
Yeah, and you see it, and it's like there's a great bit of, I mean, what Spielberg does very well, doesn't it? And Lucas and all them, they do good action set pieces, don't they, that tell a story.
Yeah.
And it's just when you think, oh, he's got it mastered, hold on, there's another problem that comes after that. And I noticed, again, I never noticed the first time I watched that and hadn't seen this film for a long time. But the other night when I was watching it, I noticed you get this camera sweeping shot over the top of the truck. I don't know if you remember. And he's going there and you see Eddie run towards a truck and he's sort of looking there and he's kind of working out how he's going to do what he needs to do. The shot is so important because it shows you the geography of where everything is.
Yeah.
Because in a scene like that, I think you could get bogged down where I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know where anybody is. I don't know how far. And there's a lot going on, isn't there?
The scene itself is very chaotic.
You've got a truck going over the edge. You've got a Tyrannosaurus Rex about to turn up through the woodland. You've got Eddie running backwards and forwards trying to, you've got them inside. You've got a rope, a winch, a truck. It's dark. Cliff, you've got so much going on.
Muddy.
Yeah, you've got so much going on, and I think it would have been so easy to sit there and go. They certainly learned, he's a master of his craft, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to it. They clearly looked at this and go, "This has got to be good. This has got to be," and I think it is. I think it's the best scene, nearly. I think in it. I think it's really well done.
Is my favorite scene.
It's just really well done, isn't it? And so Eddie's he's frantically going for it. And we have a couple of moments where we think we lost Eddie, didn't we? He's in the driver's seat and the old T-Rex, doesn't it, comes and takes the top off of the car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he's in a footwell, isn't he?
But I mean, credit to the character of Eddie. I don't know, it's all fictional, that, but the T-Rexes return. They're tearing, they're there looking in the car and all he has to do is stay still and it'll probably be okay. But he sticks his foot down on the accelerator. He goes for it.
Yeah.
The T-Rexes start tearing the roof off the car, tearing the seats out and all that.
Yeah.
And he still has his foot on the accelerator in reverse to keep that truck going,
to keep
the RV on the cliff. But his gun he's got this special gun, has he, that will fire a nerve dart that will kill the T-Rex pretty much instantly. But it's stuck in a net, the little side. Yeah. And horrendously, for the hero of the film, horrendously brutal ending.
I know.
He gets picked up, flipped in the air, and torn in half. He didn't deserve that. And you sit there and go, I thought he was like one of the main characters of the film. As a kid, that was like, what?
We thought we were getting to the end.
Yeah.
I thought, honestly, potentially get them away and then something was going to happen where we thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And then in amongst the crumpled car, he'd be there. There'll be like a little face looking out going, are you guys okay? And they go, Eddie, sort of thing. And he's there like that. And he'd go, yeah, do you want to get us out of here? You think, God, he saved the day. This is awesome. No, we decided to off him off.
And it was
shame.
It was so much darker than the first film.
Yeah.
Because you do see him get torn in half. And and the sound on that as well is...
There's a nice crunchy sound, isn't there?
It's really grim, and I was just
it's like me tucking into a toffee crisp. Other food choices are available.
Yeah. That was...
Yeah, it's a good scene, isn't it, overall?
Very good scene. Probably one of the most memorable things in the whole Jurassic Park franchise, including the worlds. Probably one of the most
cool. It's quite cool.
Scenes.
It's quite cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Fair play to Richard Schiff as well. Well acted in that scene. Doesn't take everything to be dialogue, does it?
No, and it does, and I like the dynamics of it. But obviously, a hand comes up, doesn't it? And it's the other group, isn't it?
Yeah.
The hunters with Roland and Ludlow and all them. They're all there, and they give them a hand up. So we've now collectively gathered all our characters together now, aren't we? We're now
in place.
They're all in. Not quite. I mean, our hunters are still there, but they still want to go and find the T-Rex and everything and still do all that.
Salvage the mission.
Yeah, but they're now all together, and there is some issue, isn't there, with satellite? Is it satellite phones or something about calling? I didn't really understand, to be honest with you.
So essentially, I can clear this up for you.
Go on.
So the satellite phone that the documentarian team had was in the trailer. Because that was what broke the glass and sent it shattering everywhere.
Right.
So that's gone. And all the radio equipment that the hunters had was destroyed.
Right. So that hence our problem. Why later on we need to call for help. Yeah, in a nutshell. Your old mate Peter Stormare, is it? His name is Stormare. Yeah. He don't like the little baby dinos, does he? And
no, the little compies. He's gone off for a wee, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's got himself a little bit distracted by these little dinosaurs and ends up falling down a bit of a hill and separated from the group. And unfortunately for him, his main man, Carter,
he's
got his headset on and can't hear him calling for help.
why has he got a headset on listening to music? And he's listening to like,
Saying,
I know, you're in a, I'm not being funny, you're on an island full of like loose dinosaurs. Do you remember when we did Jurassic Park? I said to you that I'd be on my wits end. I'd be on my guard 24/7 if I knew that my couple of fellow colleagues had been killed, bearing in mind, and Jurassic Park at least had them all in cages. Bearing in mind now, if I'm on this island, I wouldn't have even bought my headphones.
Bearing in mind, they've already also established at the top of the cliff that they have to go through the dangerous centre of the island to get to the village where the radio equipment will be.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to be on alert. But he's obviously, this Carter's a bit incompetent because he doesn't even notice Dieter's backpack right in front of him.
Yeah, and he didn't come back. Yeah, like, brilliant. He's quite a big deal.
He's a bit useless, but luckily he makes his...
he does, because earlier on, didn't he electrocute one of them, didn't he, with his little... electro stick.
He gets his, the companies get their revenge for their mate being zapped by his little electrifying rod.
Yeah.
I really like this scene as a kid. I just think it's tense. It's
they taunt him, don't they?
The taunting, but also the fact that they're so small. But they gang up on him, and again,
they go away, and then he walks off, and then they all creep up again, don't they? And it's like, and you almost feel that we kind of know what's going to happen, don't we? But we don't know when it's going to happen.
And I think it's sort of he seems shocked by it initially because he's like he's a full-grown man. These things they're essentially the size of chickens, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, they're like small little rodent things.
And so you probably underestimates them to begin with and think, I can get rid of them quite easily, but he cannot, and they are relentless. And you can see, again, phenomenal acting. You can see the panic set in as he realizes over time, I'm in serious trouble here. And again, the integration of the CGI companies and the practical effect companies,
he's good,
was
isn't it?
really very good. And I think it's great. Obviously nowadays you can tell that it's animatronics, but we've got to think about this was 1997.
And again, like I mentioned about the headphones that Carter's wearing, isn't it? People are sleeping. People are genuinely sleeping.
I can't sleep when I'm relaxed. Yeah,
mate. I mean, good Lord.
They've not set anyone up as guards.
It's certainly what had happened to us earlier on. I would be sitting there thinking, hold on a minute. We haven't contained any of these animals or anything like that. They are all loose. We've seen all different sizes, different things. That's what we know about. Never mind about what we don't know about.
The hunters have watched Eddie get ripped in half.
Yeah.
They know Dieter's gone missing and not come back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then they set a camp with nobody acting as a sentry.
Yeah. I mean, here in England, I wouldn't even sleep in my own garden out in the open in the sleeping bag, just in case, I don't know, a mouse
badger
tried to come and nibbled my nose. I don't know why they would want to do that, but make it waking up with a badger on the end of your nose. I don't know.
No, thank you.
No. So, I wouldn't want that. All creepy crawlies crawling over you. No. So, let alone sleep on what is one of the most dangerous islands in the world. Yeah, wow. Yeah. And we get Carter again, don't we? He balls it up for everyone, doesn't he?
Well, technically, I'd say Sarah balls it up.
Oh,
so right. Sarah Harding, who's meant to be, as John Hammond said, this expert in dealing with predators in the wild, knows what she's doing, but she's been walking around this whole time with her jacket on, which is covered in the baby Rex's blood.
Ah, yeah.
So the Rexes have just tracked her.
Yeah.
And she realizes that in the tent when the T-Rex arrives, she looks at him and goes, because she realizes I've made a bit of an error, and this error costs so many people their lives.
Well, it ruins nearly everybody in the camp, doesn't it? I think there's many people left, is there, by the time?
They all scatter. Carter then wakes up and very bravely screams.
Very quickly as well. He doesn't hang around, does he? He wakes up and he's like, the loudest no I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
He is literally, no!
and so they all scatter, and they're running away. Most of them run away.
Yeah.
They run away, and then Carter, he falls at some point, doesn't he? Because he's in a puddle.
Yeah.
Everyone's running over him, and again, I really like this as a kid. He turns around and just screams just because he just turns around just in time to see the Rex's foot.
Oh, that was him under there, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't it on the foot?
But then he just ends up stuck to the foot for ages, doesn't he?
Right.
There's several steps where
I can't remember that bit.
He's just stuck to the bottom of the foot, and then eventually he comes off.
Yeah.
But then also, now this is, we get to one of my all-time favourite film deaths.
Oh.
They all run to us. A few of them running.
Oh, they're in a cave, aren't they? Yeah.
A cave behind the waterfall. The Rex sticks his head in. This is a bit of a reference to a scene in the in the original book as well. And then the dinosaur expert, it turns out, presumably is terrified of snakes. Because a snake goes down his shirt and he sort of panics, flaps about a bit.
Ah, yeah, he does,
and
doesn't he?
gets caught by the Rex.
Yeah,
again,
he sort of backs.
very grim sounding death because he gets grabbed by the arm. Again, all practical effects. Here's the thing: I've got a book, which is why this film meant a lot to me as a kid, because I had a book my dad gave me, which is all about the makings of this film. I used to sit there and read it so many times. I loved it, and they actually had like photographs of them practicing that scene.
Right.
Where they'd grab the stunt actor by the arm and drag them out.
And drag them out, yeah.
All for real with animatronics.
Really, yeah.
But then obviously as a kid it was really creepy. And if you know how films work in the UK, if it's before the watershed time, they had to cut it out on ITV.
I imagine they did, didn't they? Yeah.
But what you get is you just see...
I imagine there was less crunchy.
Less crunchy. There's
less toffee crisp.
It is very toffee crisp, because you just see him get kicking and screaming out the waterfall, and then just hear this awful crunch,
and
then just all the blood come running down.
Yeah, he's been well and truly grown up.
What a cool death that was.
Yeah, I mean, he went out. He didn't go out like a punk, did he? Yeah, no. We get the long grass scene, which I thought was quite good with the raptors.
Yes, this is another memorable scene, and essentially what they did to film it is they sort of grew like the long grass. And then they cut channels in it that they'd have these animatronic raptors move through. Right. And then show the grass sort of being compressed by the raptors as they ran. They just digitally reimposed it and took it away. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? It's quite a... I'd imagine, I can't remember the trailer. I can't quite remember the trailer. And the trailer that we use is a very short trailer. But I'd imagine that's very trailer-esque, isn't it? You know, like, that's something that I would want to put in my trailer to show you that, to entice people to go, look how cool this is. Like, you know. It was a cool scene. I mean, we all know what the Raptors are capable of in the first film. So we finally get to see them come back. And this is their first appearance in the film. We're getting quite towards late in the film, and we decided to bring these to the table, innit? Not only we've got a T-Rex following us, trying to eat us at the camp, you know. We've got raptors now as well. We've got everything going on, haven't we? And we end up, which is a kind of base, isn't it? Type communication center, isn't it? Where Nick is chucking up the switches, isn't he, and stuff, and trying to get some power on, and it looks like he's being quite successful, isn't he, in getting that message out towards everyone, you know, to basically come and help us. In the meantime, our rest of our main people are being chased around the area, aren't we, by the raptors, you know. Now, this is where I start to get quite annoyed at this film. Really, at this point? Oh, right. I mean, there's various issues throughout this film. I'll tell you exactly where I'm going to get annoyed soon in a minute. So, there's a lot of things wrong with this film. And this is probably the first time in this podcast that I've really actually had to take off the rose-tinted glasses and look deeply into it. And I've definitely changed the way I think about this film. Yeah. But I start to get really annoyed at this raptor scene because we've established in the first scene, we spent so long focusing on how intelligent the raptors are. And they seem generally incompetent in the hunt of the main characters. You know, like, it jumps onto Sarah Harding and it goes for the backpack as opposed to her. And then when they're trying to get out from under the shed, Kelly sticks her head under there, and instead of biting her head off, it just puts his head next to her. Right. Where's that come from? I see what you mean. So I didn't think it would. They're running around and moving slowly. These are predators. We saw how quickly they wiped out for the long grass, didn't we? We saw that they are like straight. We're having you. Yeah. But then, you know, when they're when it's hunting Dr. Ian Malcolm, obviously we want him to live. Obviously we do. But it's just like, take my time here. I'm just going to walk around and water jump through this glass. I've knocked him down to the floor. I'm just going to stand in this building for a little while and wait for him to get back up and run somewhere else. Oh, well, there he goes. I'll run after him now. Where's that come from? And that's why I got annoyed. Do you know what? I never thought of it like that when I watched it. I never thought I've never thought of it before. Like how they were in the first film compared to how they are in this film is there's maybe they've turned the volume down, haven't they? Because the raptors, besides T-Rex in the first film, the raptors are almost like the second show, aren't they? They're the second half, aren't they? Like, you thought the T-Rex was really bad. Well, have a look at some of these things. These are awful, you know, things. And I've never sat and thought about that. They've turned the volume down from 11 to like 5, haven't they? Where they go,
And I don't know. I'm interesting. I'd like maybe one day we might find out there might be a reason behind that. But I've never thought that until you've just said that just now. I've never sat there and thought about that. I thought some of the scenes were quite good. I thought,
some of the
scenes when I first watched it,
cool.
When I first watched it, I never liked the gymnastic scene. You know, where she's swinging,
don't like the gymnastics,
and then she goes but watching it now, it doesn't bother me as much as it did when I first watched it, because when she pushes it through the window, that's quite a good kick, you know, sort of thing, and you sort of go, yeah, that's quite good actually, really, and it's foreshadowing what she said before earlier on, didn't she?
And I get the reference to the gymnastics and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
cool. I actually found myself angrier.
Wow,
the gymnastics scene because. And I understand that, you know, kicking it through good idea.
Thomas took his glasses off. He's meaning business right now.
He's pointing glasses
at me. I'm quite scared.
When I watch the film, she starts doing the gymnastics before the raptors even got up to that level.
Right.
If she had perhaps seen the raptor always cornering her dad, swung on this bar and kick it through, I would sit there and go, fair enough. But
too much.
She starts doing gymnastics, then the raptor climbs up to her level.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you sort of sit there? You're hoping that the raptors are going to come up there so you can
swing around like a merry-go-round.
That's why I got annoyed at it, because it was like, you started doing that before the raptor's there. There's no there's no sort of threat that you can deal with at this point in time. You've just decided,
true,
I'm in life, my dad's about to be eaten.
Yeah.
It's time to swing on a bar.
Time to swing around for a while until something comes along, yeah.
That's what made me angry about it, is the fact that she starts doing it before.
Maybe it just didn't bother me this time. Yeah, maybe I just got over myself with it. You know, like
maybe
that. I don't know. You've made me think about it differently now. Yeah. But I did find some of the things, and obviously Sarah climbs out the top, doesn't she? She's on the roof. I kind of like the idea that she's pulling the tiles. I like that scenario where she's pulling the tiles off the roof as the tiles are falling and hitting the raptor that's on the floor, because obviously she falls on the floor, she's going to get eaten by the raptor. But at the same time, you've got the raptor on the roof, and as she's pulling the tiles, the raptor's moving slowly towards her. I kind of like that. That's quite a good little scenario.
Bit of a predicament.
Yeah, you're like, right, I'm saving myself here, but at the same time, somewhere else, I'm now going to get it if I'm not careful. So I kind of like that. And let's just jump straight in there. Everyone gets saved, don't they?
Well,
helicopter turns up,
still alive.
Yeah, and again, there we go. So we've kind of got all these dinosaurs. A lot of them all wrapped up in various different cages and things, aren't we? Ludlow is like, he's happy, isn't he now? No, regardless that everyone's been killed and awful, he's quite an awful human being, isn't he? Where he's going, well, I've got what I needed, you know, and he's, you know, sort of praising people, isn't he? And sort of
come back to Ludlow in a bit. Yeah, I've got a fair bit to say about this man.
So, and again, I'm going to put a little marker. I am here and say that's where the film should have damn finished, right? And maybe we should have had another sequel about what happens next.
You know what? The San Diego scene, which was what does come next, was actually meant to be a third film.
Really?
That was what's supposed, but he wanted to get on with it and do it there because he didn't think he'd come back for a third.
I feel the same, and I will elaborate this at the very end, but I feel the same with the San Diego thing. I feel we're in another film. We finish there, and it's almost like the hammer, the axe comes down, and we go, right, stop that. Stop what we're doing on the island. Stop whatever you're doing. Get rid of all these people. Move these people on. We don't need to see any of these people anymore. Yeah. We only need to see these three people and a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And so we're going to do this next bit. And so we cut to, well, Dr. Malcolm and Sarah. I assume it's a little while later because they're all fresh-faced. They look like they've had a shower and they've had their hair done, and I assume that before this boat is coming in, isn't it, with the T-Rex, that I'm led to believe that, there's been a week maybe or something. A
little bit of time they've got to sail up.
And they've turned up at this harbour because, well, they're not happy about it. You know, still not happy about what they were not happy about earlier on.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say on this bit, mate. I honestly...
Let me take over, because I have plenty to say.
For Christ's sake, it's just...
Firstly...
Yeah, go on.
Did you notice that the ship was called the SS Venture, which is actually a bit of a reference to King Kong in 1933, where the ship that brought him back was called SS Venture.
A little note
That's
there,
the way the cool bits end for me.
Right. So, wow, that was it. The name of a damn boat.
Sorry. And the boat, ultimately, for those who haven't seen it, crashes into the dock. And they used, like, models for that. Very nicely done.
Not bad.
That is now the end of the cool stuff for me.
Right.
So, this has been the source of controversy and speculation things for years. What killed the boat crew? And I had a massive, how can I put this, crisis trying to work this out.
a crisis on Lost World.
Because people have sort of said, well, it must be the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And for the most part...
Well, he was contained, weren't he?
But he broke out.
Right.
And they must have got him back in because the crewman was holding the remote.
Yeah.
And I can sort of tolerate that most of the way. I sort of think, yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe it did rampage the boat and they were trying to get it back in and ended up killing a lot of them.
Right,
The one of the remote was injured and dying and he managed to close the doors just as he died.
Yeah.
I can accept most of that. We know it's not the baby T-Rex because that's been taken off on the plane. That's established.
That's already at the new park, isn't it?
The bit that undoes it is when they go into the sort of bridge of the ship and there's a hand on the wheel and the guards there going, oh, there's crew everywhere. But if you look on the exterior shots, there's no damage to the cabin at all.
How did he get
Which means something small must have got in there to do it because there's no way the T-Rex would have been able to do it. But we know it's not the baby.
Yeah.
And people have said, well, maybe it's a raptor. It's like, well, where's that? There's no establishing that the raptor's done that.
Yeah, it makes sense, wouldn't it? The raptor's got out.
But also, equally, would the raptor have, ripped a man's hand off? I'm not too sure about
Took him away and left his hand still on the steering wheel. I don't know. Yeah.
It doesn't... And we've just glossed over it. And it's like, I personally... This is, again, they're going to hunt me down because you know how much I love Spielberg. I would have expected better.
Yeah, it was definitely written at the bottom of the call sheet was can do better, wouldn't it? Should be. I just literally, my notes as I started writing became bullet points and rather than descripting because I was just literally listing the things that wind me up about the whole scene. A T-Rex escapes. He's now in the town.
There's so many things that I just find out, like, when it escapes the docks, there's a panning shot. There's just people acting casual in the building, talking. It's like, if I saw a T-Rex running towards me, bear in mind there's two guards running for their lives, and you're in the building next to it, I'd be bricking it.
There isn't it, yeah. Well,
but everyone's just having a chat.
I think it starts that the moment it goes through that sign where it says all animals, fish, vegetables should be declared, like that. It smashes that sign as if to say, like, well, it doesn't care, like we've got a Tyrannosaurus Rex coming through. But like you say, there's an office where everybody's just on phones and you'd be like, shit in it, wouldn't you? You would
be going sworn in the podcast.
I know. I'm going to put I'm going to have to put it on there now. But yeah, you would though, wouldn't you? You'd be going mental.
I wouldn't be hanging around there. Sorry, my phone call is not as important as running for my life.
I'll call you back. Bye. And so obviously we get this stampede of what turns into, and I remember, I think I went to the cinema, I had my brother with me as well, and my brother even mentioned, it went all Godzilla. He even said that,
Yeah, but again, some things don't make sense. Like, they're talking about it being dehydrated, going for water. So it goes and drinks out of a chlorinated pool.
Yeah.
Do we not think the T-Rex would have gone, oh, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't like this, and gone ape. Yeah. But Tyrannosaurus Rex eats a traffic light. Couldn't write this, could you? Kid can't.
A bus.
Kid can't. He bashes the bus. And then the bus driver says, everybody's to the left. Because that's what you'd be saying when a Tyrannosaurus Rex has turned up randomly, a thing that's been extinct for so long.
He'd been preparing for that.
He was ready. That's probably in the guide of how to drive a bus, just in case everybody needs to lean to the left.
If anybody is a bus driver, advise us. That'd be great.
Get the kid, I can't sleep, there's a monster in my bedroom, classic, don't we? Where cliche, where we go, oh no, there's nothing here. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, there is. Look at this. Look at the size of this damn thing. And the dog's gone.
Yes.
You're getting where I'm getting here, like, if you tone of my voice. However, I will say one funny thing that I noticed. I don't know whether it's a car or the Tyrannosaurus Rex smashes into a video store, and it smashes into the video store, and on there, like you had years ago, you'd have like big cardboard cutouts of Cummings.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
Yeah, King Lear. Arnold Schwarzenegger is King Lear. And we also have a Robin Williams in there, Jack and the Beanstalk. So we're in this like weird world of made up movies that it's in a world of its own sort of thing, like, in this kind of alternative reality, and I thought that was quite funny. I thought that was quite funny. Who put that in and thought that was quite a very nice, funny little cheeky
I also
nod.
found the little random scene where the T-Rex is running and they have all the police cars and the animal control van
Yeah.
sort of driving along to go and deal with it, see the T-Rex and immediately all spin back around and drive away again. I just little things like that sort of bring up. But I think the scene almost seems, the sequence seems tired. Like we've had the film on the island and someone's gone, we need a bit more.
We didn't need more. Less was more.
It's
I think if you were going to make a third film, you could have finished it on the island.
Yeah.
And everybody would have sat there and gone, what are they going to do with the dinosaurs?
Yes,
that would have been the question. That would have been the question.
It's like this is a weird analogy, bear with me. It's like if you're rolling out a pizza dough and you've gone, yes, this is the perfect thickness, but then someone's gone, can you make it a bit bigger? And then it's too thin. That's what the end sequence feels like to me. It's like it didn't need to be there.
You've rolled
Did
this
we
out.
need to make this longer?
Yeah.
No, we could have ended it nicely there.
Call it a bad move. Call it, I don't know what. I was hoping that when I went back to this, like we have done, I was hoping that I would sort of go, okay, I kind of get it. You know, whilst I didn't get it at the time and didn't like it, I was hoping that this time, like we do in our Burning Cinema movies that we go through, sometimes you go, actually, I get it now. I didn't get it then, but I do now. Yeah, I didn't. I slated it all the way through here, and I'm trying to keep it simple. But we eventually they do the old classic, don't they? They go and get the baby back in, put it in the car. I think we've done a bit of this, you know, and we're going to bring the baby back. Tyrannosaurus Rex is going to follow us.
Yeah.
We're going to lure it back in, and then Sarah's going to shoot a dart from about 2 miles away. She's miles away, and
in this time, Ludlow's wandered in to find the baby and is being
as
well.
Why did he go in there? Why would you go in there? What was the whole point? You just go, I'm getting out of here. This is the bad idea. It's bad idea number 75, you know, of this whole thing. I think when the boat went into the dock, the Tyrannosaurus Rex got out, the baby that they've returned back, Dr. Malcolm and Sarah have turned up. If I was the owner of that company, I'd go, time out. I'm done. This is a bad idea. All of this is. Let's call it a day. Gonna go home, have a coffee, and they seal it up, don't they? And that's the end.
Yeah, I mean, you get a nice little bit of and I will say, I don't know if you noticed at the end, obviously, John Hammond does a little bit of a
he does
video.
Yeah.
And I actually got a little bit emotional at this.
Really?
Only on the basis of how much he sounded like his brother.
Right.
So David, like, he speaks like him, he's talking like him, and I was like, that's kind of sweet. That was it. That was the emotional.
Oh, right. Because I had the different opinion where John Hammond's trying to redeem himself almost, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. And we get this montage, which is the end. We get the classic Jurassic Park theme tune comes in, doesn't it? We haven't really heard it very much in the whole film all the way through. We now get it in its full entirety of like the classic theme that we all know. And we get a montage of various different dinosaurs, including one pterodactyl, which we never got to see. Great. Brilliant. Thanks for that.
But there was a scene there were some scenes that were cut.
Right.
And
okay.
in that book that I have, there was essentially meant to be, when the hunters were escaping with the raptors, they're meant to do so by getting to a cliff.
Right.
And they hang glide away from them.
Right.
They apparently were meant to carry backpacks which contained hang gliders.
Okay.
Getting a bit far-fetched, I think.
Yeah.
And apparently the pterosaur was meant to come down and sort of start plucking them out of the air. Apparently RJ was meant to be killed then and be ripped apart.
Oh, wow.
And then they were going to attack the helicopter. Which obviously
so there was a whole scene that was going to be...
There was a whole scene, they scrapped it. So there was meant to be more of them in. Obviously, we get a lot more of them in number 3.
But we may get that later on.
I've just got it.
You've brought it, yeah.
But would you like me to issue out my next controversial bit of review of this?
We're still not at the end, listeners.
No,
Jesus, this has been a slog.
Bear with me on this one.
Go on.
I don't think this film has a clear-cut bad guy. So, in the first film, it's Dennis Nedry, because he causes it all, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Bear with me. So, people would immediately go, no, we've got Peter Ludlow. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But is he? What he's trying to do is save the company from his uncle's exploits.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he's paid some people off to silence them. And the one person who refused to be silenced, they sort of ruined his career. But then we've got on the basis of the needs of the many, the entire company, outweigh the needs of the few, Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
He's also said, well, let's bring the dinosaurs to us on the mainland at 1/10 of the cost. So he's
Right.
a businessman, and he's a good one because he's saving the money that will
Wow.
still make the money.
That's
Bear with-
interesting, isn't it?
bear
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
Also, he goes with his men. Okay, we establish he's clearly an incompetent outdoorsman,
Yeah, yeah.
but he leads the mission. He goes out there. He's getting his hands dirty. He expresses sympathy when Eddie died and when he found out RJ died. Not the most genuine sympathy, but he's saying sorry and all that sort of thing. He clearly cares a little bit about the baby T-Rex as well. I know it's a revenue stream, but he's being nice, that sort of thing. I'm thinking, he's not really a bad guy. I mean, he's not. I'm not saying he's.
Yeah,
nuts,
he's not.
but he's not. He's not like an evil villain.
He's not sacrificing people's lives to. But then, does any of the Jurassic Park films have?
But Dennis
I
Neville,
don't
you'd probably
know.
say, is more of a traditional bad guy. Not all of them have bad guys, but he's sort of portrayed and gets a death of a bad guy. And you sort of go, I didn't think in this film he's set up as a bad guy. And I think, looking at it when I watched it again, I thought he's not actually a bad guy. He's done some bad things. People go, maybe it's Dieter Stark because he electrocutes that one little baby dinosaur. It's like, but he doesn't kill it,
and he gets in comeuppance. That's it.
He does. He's not.
He's not the main character, or anything.
Evil, is he?
He's not the main character. He's not orchestrating anything. No. Interesting. Well, listeners, I mean, put your comments.
Tell me how wrong I am.
Yeah. I don't think you're that wrong. I think you've got a point. Yeah, and certainly, yeah, it would be nice to hear. Like, whether we think he is the bad guy or not? Who is the actual bad guy? But that pretty much wraps up The Lost World. I'm exhausted. I mean, I'm as exhausted as I feel like I've been chased around by a T-Rex.
That was a deep dive.
That was a deep dive, yeah, and an exciting one as that. I enjoyed that. So obviously, yeah, I've saved a little bit of a story. I have. I mentioned very early, didn't I, that I went to the cinema to go and see this.
Yes, you did.
And then I kind of finished. I didn't tell you any more about what happened. And the reason why, because I wanted to save it to the end here. So when I was in the cinema, this really happened. We sat there and the place was packed, absolutely packed. There weren't a seat empty. And if everybody remembers, at the end of Lost World, like we mentioned, Dr. Hammond starts doing his speech, doesn't he? And we get a montage of all the animals. And all the animals are moving around, and we eventually get this pterodactyl, don't we, sort of flapping in the wind. I honestly, everybody got up out of the cinema before it had finished. I've never seen that ever. Right. So normally you get people like as soon as those credits like goes off, you know, in true Avengers style, things tend to go bang, don't they? Straight away. They don't fade out. They don't. And let's be honest, you know when the end of the film is coming because the music is giving very accentuating themes and heights that you go, all right, we are getting to. It's building you up to it's the end. However, though, most of us would stay until the credits, wouldn't we? And I'd say and then when the credits go up, people would mass exodus, don't they? They all get up and they all lead. It's the only film I've ever been to, right? And don't get me wrong, I've been to films where people have got out and left halfway through, which you kind of justified more because you sit there and go, they clearly didn't like it. They weren't enjoying it. They weren't enjoying it one bit and they didn't want to hang around anymore. I'm very different. I want to watch it. I've paid money. I don't care if it is rubbish. Right? I want to get to the end. I want to get my money's worth. But this was unbelievable. Bearing in mind that me and my friends and my brother were sat there, we looked at, and I couldn't watch the end of the film because everybody in front of me was stood up. We were the only people sitting down, you know, because I go, well, I want to watch the end. I want to see the end. I know it might be just. So it went until it came out on video hire or when you came out on television. I actually got to see the actual, the last 10 seconds of it or whatever what actually was, which was the pterodactyl landing on the branch. You know, I never saw that because I couldn't see it because everybody was stood up in front of me. And the general, I can't explain it really. You could get the ambience as everyone was leaving. It's like people were a little bit annoyed. I think people were disappointed. Now, where that is that the San Diego scene? Was it had people had enough? Did it take people out? I think it did. I think it took people away from Jurassic Park because you've got your 3 degrees of fans, haven't you? You've got people who are diehards. They love it. They love everything about it. They watch Jurassic Park 6 million times. They watch it every day. You know, they know all the characters, all the history, everything about it. And then you give them a sequel and they go, yeah, I get it. I understand. Oh, great. We're seeing Ian Hammond. We're seeing, Dr. Malcolm, or all these people we're seeing. However, though, we're now giving you this kind of San Diego scene. This isn't what I asked for. This isn't what Jurassic Park does. And we know that because later in the sequels almost bow down to it, don't they? We keep on the island,
I think this film would have been better and probably well received. Obviously, again, no film is perfect. No. That's even Jurassic Park itself, as much as I hate to say it, was not a perfect film because there's always little things.
Of course, it is. Yeah,
there's always little plot holes. But if they did cut away San Diego, save that for a third film,
yep,
and they'd be sorting out the gymnastics scene, that would be a pretty solid film, to be honest with you.
I think so. A poor start and a poor end. I think it's a bookend. Each side it is.
Yeah.
The bits in the middle I actually quite liked, and I think is a Jurassic Park film.
Yeah,
all over.
Whole island.
I can forgive. I know the gymnastic scene. You said I can forgive that. I can forgive the raptors, like what you. I can forgive a lot of stuff. I can forgive that the Tyrannosaurus Rex just creeps in stealth wise, into thing. All this stuff. I'm willing to suspend my belief and go. Actually, I'll buy into it.
Yeah, and the same here. I mean, obviously it's a bit of a teaser for what comes next, but I have always loved this since I was a little kid. The second film, I thought it was great. I have very much now realised how much through rose-tinted glasses I'd be looking at it. If they'd have timed the gymnastics a little bit better, I'd have been fine with it.
Yeah.
If she just started after the raptor got up there, I'm on board. Not a problem. San Diego is a problem.
It is a problem, massive problem, and it doesn't fit. I mean, even with my idea of saying a poor start, poor end, and actually the middle's really good, and I give my own take on it. If I was to, if someone let me cut it and directed it, I would have said, get rid of the beginning, have all the exposition on the boat on the way there. I mean, you could still keep the posh family if you really wanted to. That's no big deal. That's a nice little teaser. But Ursa as well, I'd lose the San Diego and leave it open for the sequel of where are these animals going? You could even say the San Diego thing didn't work. So what they did is they reopened Jurassic Park and they're trying again, or they found another island, I don't know. You could do anything you want to. And with that, I mean, it even makes it like that Pete Postlethwaite paying Roland, even he sods off, doesn't he? You said the thing, at that point, that is the cut-off point. Even he goes, I'm not in for the rest of this because I ain't doing it.
Yeah. It's almost like they had the film and went,
Vince Vaughn, it don't return.
No, he doesn't.
He goes, no, I'm gone. See you later.
They just added it on because they could, rather than whether or not
with
they
less
could.
characters and less dinosaurs.
And less developed storyline.
Yeah.
It's like having, going to go back to another food, comparison.
I like
it's like having,
this could be a regular thing.
All this really expensive ingredients for a sandwich, top level, ingredients, very expensive,
I'm getting hungry
gourmet.
Yeah. And
then you put it between two slices of really crap budget bread.
Yeah. Did you have a favourite scene or favourite part in there? Is anything that stands out for you?
I think the whole Eddie Carr sequence trying to save them was just really well done. It was well executed. The atmosphere was there. The sound design was there. The tension was there. The disbelief of did they really just do that? The darkness of that, the brutality.
It's a well played scene.
It was. And I think for me that was probably
nice.
The peak bit of this film. Yourself.
I enjoyed that scene as well. But the one that just tips a little bit is the initial hunt when they're racing through it's kind of weird open savannah in it kind of thing, sort of thing. And, we get the trucks and the motorbike. It's a little bit over the top. Why would you bring a motorbike? Would you why it's a little bit over the top, but I love Pete Postlethwaite. He gave great speeches. I love his cack-handedness trying to work out what they all call with his flip chart. I love, there's a sense of that's probably how it probably would be. Yeah, that's probably how it would be, wouldn't it, if you turned up there? And we've got this and they quite a nice little ragtag team of various different people and we don't have to get too involved in where they all come from and what they all do. I do know there's some deleted scenes, isn't there, of him, which I'm glad they didn't put in there because that would have just made it longer and pointless, at the end of the day. So yeah, I really love that. So Now we come to the most important bit, which is the official Flame rating for this. Is it still hot? Is it still burning good, as we remember from years ago? Is it any better, any worse? What you got for us, Tom? What are you going to go for?
I think I'm going to take it as a bit of a balance on this one.
Ooh.
Because I do still like it.
Yeah.
And despite the fact I feel like I've just mostly criticised a lot of this film, there's still so much of it I do love.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
And like I said, the middle bit is, all the way up to the Raptor Village, from when they get on the island to Raptor Village, for me, phenomenal.
Nice.
Really lovely bit of
Yeah.
film. And I didn't mind the opening, personally.
Okay.
I quite like the opening.
Oh, that's good.
That said, I'm sat here imagining yours and thinking that does also work really quite well.
Yeah. Spielberg, if you're listening, I'm available for script writing and rewrites.
Don't need David Cope anymore. Throw him out.
Yeah, we don't want him.
I'm going to go on a 3.
A 3, nice.
A 3, because
nicely in the middle.
It's very much in the middle. I think anything less would be too harsh and discredit the effort that goes into making this film, and the fact that I do, for the most part, still really like it.
Yeah.
But I was debating. I thought when we decided watching this, I was going to be dead set on 4, because I know it's not a 5.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to be dead set on 4, job done. And then I had a meltdown. I had another crisis. There were some tears, and I come to this conclusion: it's a 3.
Nice. That's nice. Good. That's fair, isn't it? Really nicely in the middle. Which is the irony is that that's what we said. The middle was good. Yeah. I went slightly a little bit lower. I trimmed a frame off. I went for 2. I did. And the only reason why I still feel the same as I do when I watched it all them years ago in the cinema, I haven't really changed. I was hoping it would change me, because I remember we talk about it a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And we sort of talk about different versions of different films, and we say that, and especially here at Burning Cinema, we want to go back and we want to try and revisit and go, was there anything that we didn't understand? Was there anything that we didn't get at the time? Is it, even by today's standards of films, is it good? Because sometimes a lot of films I've looked at and gone, oh, this isn't very good, but actually it's quite good. What did I miss at the time? No, still the same, I'm afraid. I can't lift myself up anymore on it. My same thoughts are exactly I had in 1997 when I watched it. All them years back.
All them 30 years ago.
30 years ago. I know. God, makes me feel very old. I've only been out of school for 2 years.
I'd only been around for a year.
Nice. There you go, listeners. That is the entirety. What fun we've had on there with The Lost World, a.k.a. Jurassic Park 2. I'll call it, yeah. Will we do more Jurassic Parks? Yeah, of course we will, but not for a little while. We're going to take a back seat for some of them, I think.
Some other things to talk about, haven't we?
We've got more things as we continue
Second Chance Cinema.
Yeah, I've got an absolute perler for you.
Please do, tell me.
So, this might be a tough watch for you, because, Tom, I know that you're a big Star Wars fan. You're not getting Star Wars, I'm afraid. Not quite yet. It's not May the 4th yet. But what you are getting, that's right. We're going to follow Captain Kirk and his crew as they tackle Starfleet, returning bad guys and weird ear creatures.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up. There she is. There she is. Fire!
Shield's collapsing, Captain. Can you give me phaser power? A few shots, sir.
Not enough against their shields.
The base is stubborn.
Scotty, I need warp speed in 3 minutes or we're all dead.
So there you have it. That's Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. Very fitting with our theme and everything, Second Chance Cinema. And it is the sequel that potentially re-energized, you see what I did there? The franchise.
Star Trek.
The franchise, yeah, which we'll probably go into a little bit and talk about the infamous motion picture, the one before that, But that's what we're going to be talking about. Did it relight the fire of Trekkies out there? Or, or has it quite dated? I don't know. It's a long time ago and it came out a while ago. And that pretty much wraps us up. We'll have that in 2 weeks' time. on all our normal platforms. You can find us on Spotify, you can find us on YouTube, and you can keep up with us as well on all our latest news and gossip and any other things, and keep an eye on what's coming out or what isn't coming out on on Instagram, and that run by Tom himself. So all I've got to say is, well, it's goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.